Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're digging into Anubhav Srivastava's book, How to Cope with a Brutal World. Specifically, one really interesting segment called A Word on Benny the Timetable Franklin. It's quite a unique book, mixing humor and some pretty dark comedy, but the aim is to get at some, profound ideas. And this take on Benjamin Franklin, definitely surprising. Prepare for maybe a few assumptions about productivity to get, challenged.
Yeah, it's not your typical self-help or history analysis. It uses this witty, almost satirical approach to make you rethink things.
Yeah.
And Franklin's the perfect target, right? This icon of American diligence. We're going to see how Srivastava kind of turns that image on its head.
Okay, so he jumps right in, taking aim at our picture of Franklin.
Yeah.
How does he kick things off? What's the angle?
Well, he doesn't just, introduce Franklin. He slaps these amazing, slightly mocking titles on him, like patriarch of punctuality and Sultan of schedules, grandpa of timetables. It immediately signals, okay, this isn't going to be the usual hero worship.
That's a different tone for sure.
Exactly. And then he goes straight for that legendary daily routine. You know the one.
Oh, yeah, the super intense schedule. How does Srivastava describe that?
He calls it a schedule so tight it makes spandex look loose, which is just brilliant.
That paints a picture.
It does. Waking up at dawn, immediately asking yourself, what good shall I do this day? Not even like, let me grab coffee first.
Right, just straight into the self-evaluation.
And ending the day the same way. What good have I done today? Srivastava points out the humor in comparing that to, most of us just trying to decide if we have the energy to brush our teeth.
Yeah, it's relatable. He calls it like 247 performance reviews by your own conscience.
Pretty intense stuff. And that leads right into those Franklin quotes, the ones that can make you feel, a bit guilty.
Yes. The quotes. Which ones does Srivastava focus on, and what's the vibe he gets from them?
He picks some real gems, like, be always ashamed to keep myself idle. Oof.
Yeah, that one stings a little.
Or, dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of. And this one. If you were a servant, would you not be ashamed that a good master should catch you idle?
Wow. No pressure, Ben.
Right. Srivastava's point is that these aren't just like productivity tips. They're almost moral commandments designed to make you feel constantly inadequate if you're not doing something useful. Even just relaxing feels wrong.
You can totally see how that builds up. But then, after painting this picture of relentless drive, the book throws a curveball, right? What's the big twist?
This is really the core of it. Srivastava reveals something pretty shocking, actually. Franklin's biggest hits, the lightning rod, bifocals, the Franklin sort of the things he's really famous for.
Yeah.
They didn't come from that super strict minute-by-minute schedule.
Wait, really? So not from the timetable? Then where did they come from?
They happened after he basically retired from the day-to-day running of his businesses, after he handed things off and, allowed himself to actually slow down. Yeah. Srivastava even quotes a letter from Franklin himself. Franklin wrote about having great happiness, leisure to read, study, make experiments, and crucially, uninterrupted by the little cares and fatigues of business.
So Franklin himself admitted his best stuff came from leisure time?
Pretty much. He found joy and breakthroughs when he wasn't grinding away. Which leads Srivastava to that killer conclusion.
Which is?
It's almost as if, embrace yourself for this wild idea, being perpetually busy isn't the key to genius.
Yeah, that lands. Especially today, with everyone obsessed with being productive, it really cuts against the grain, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It directly challenges that whole hustle culture myth. And Srivastava connects it to his own life, saying his hardest working years are just a blur, while the good stuff seemed almost effortless when it happened.
Interesting personal insight. So where does that lead him? What's the alternative path?
He talks about finding a middle way.
A middle way. Like moderation. Does he connect that to anything specific?
Yeah, he draws a clear parallel to Buddhist philosophy, avoiding the extremes, not constant grinding work, but also not total laziness. Finding that balance is where the good stuff happens.
Okay, that makes sense.
And this leads to his big takeaway message for you listening. Don't feel guilty of the days you waste on doing things you enjoy. Feel fearful of the decades you waste on doing the things you hate.
Wow, that's powerful. Hits hard.
It really does. It reframes guilt completely. And he backs it up with a quote from Nikola Tesla, another genius, right?
What did Tesla say?
Tesla said being forced to work by rigid rules is basically a sacrifice of life energy.
Sacrifice of life energy. That puts it bluntly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the question Srivastava poses, implicitly and explicitly, is, why should you care about this? What does rethinking Franklin and productivity mean for your life your work, your creativity? Are you just following rules, or are you actually tapping into something deeper?
What a fascinating deep dive. Srivastava uses Franklin, this historical icon, in such an unexpected way to critique our modern obsession with busyness. It's funny, but also, like you said, deeply insightful.
It really makes you pause and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where does your real creativity come from? Is it from the packed schedule or from, from somewhere else, maybe from giving yourself a bit of space?
Exactly. It's about maybe finding that balance, that well-being that actually fuels insight rather than just ticking boxes. So maybe something for you to ponder today. Are you just running on a schedule, or are you truly living? What could you unlock if you found your own version of that middle way?